National Report Court is back in session. For today's case, we take you to Denver, Colorado. A live look here, courtesy of EarthCam. We bring you here because the father of two elementary school children is now suing Denver Public Schools and its Board of Education. He claims the staff refused to let him display a so-called straight pride flag alongside gay pride flags.
If you're wondering if there was a straight one, I didn't know as well. But Nathan Feldman argues his twin children, who are in the third grade, are being barred from exercising their freedom of speech. Is there a case? We're taking it up in National Report Court today with Eric Schwartzreich, a criminal defense attorney, Ken Belkin, criminal defense attorney. So for the purposes of this segment alone, Eric, if you could represent the father suing, Ken, if you could defend Denver Public Schools and then the other defendants as well. So Eric, we would start with you. After a lot of back and forth, the lawsuit stating the district's family constituency specialist said, quote, sexual orientation, gender identity, and race protections only apply to homosexuals, people of color, and trans people, unquote. Eric, with that in mind, is this a violation of the child's constitutional rights? Does the father, Mr. Feldman, have a case, Eric?
Don, Emma, Kevin, good morning. There should be room for me, room for you, room for all. Diversity is a fact. Inclusion is a choice. Now, historically, we have people that they feel that they're marginalized. But here, this is about freedom of speech. And the school has this policy. And if the school is going to allow these flags, and the father wants to put a flag supporting his 8-year-old children's position, he should be allowed to. It is a First Amendment issue. There should be room for everyone. This is a school which is publicly funded, and the school to take a position to only allow certain position, that could be problematic. So if the father wants to support, his position, he's not asking for these flags to be taken down. It is okay if someone is gay, it's okay if you're a woman, if you're black, if you're white, if you're yellow or you're green. But the point is this is his position. It is a public school, public funding. He wants his children's position to be able to be out there on a constitutional point, on a First Amendment point with a publicly funded school. The school shouldn't be taking a position. He does have a leg to stand on here.
And I think a lot of us have seen the rainbow flag, the pride flag before. Maybe you haven't seen a straight pride flag. I hadn't, but I think we've got an image of it. There we go. There it is on your screen. Clearly, it's not included on the right side image, so it's not displayed, but he wants it included. And so, Ken, what's the school's defense? Why can't they include it?
Look, first of all, let's be clear. All right, I don't like any of this stuff. But that being said, this is not the 8-year-old's position. This is the 8-year-old's father's position. And he does not have a right to express his point of view at the school. He doesn't go to the school. He doesn't work at the school. He's a parent of a student who goes to the school. He's not spending time in that classroom. The people who have a right to express their point of view at the school, the teachers, administrators, and the students. Not the father of the student. And by the way, it's a really ugly looking flag. I mean, call me old fashioned, but my favorite flag has 3 colors, red, white, and blue. I don't know what these flags are, but the fact of the matter is that it's also not about people feeling marginalized. Whether we like it or not, there is a history in this country of making homosexuals criminals. We've criminalized homosexual behavior. We prevented them from having the legal right to marry. They were, in fact, a marginalized group. It's not about them feeling marginalized. They were marginalized. On paper, there were laws that allowed states to discriminate against them that are no longer in place. So that is why I think it's totally appropriate to exclude one while allowing the other to be included. Also, you've got employees of the school who might want to feel represented, that they might want to feel their viewpoints expressed, that they're not being marginalized anymore.
Yep. And thank you for the professionalism, by the way, just for our viewers to know that they're arguing. It doesn't mean that they want to argue on the basis of the topic that we gave them or the side that
they're
they
just that talented.
They're just that good. They're just that good. But carrying this out, it is a real case. Eric, I'll go back to you. The district's director of operations advised Mr. Feldman, that's the father of the child, that the pride flag is, quote, not viewed by Denver Public Schools as sexual education of any kind. It's supported by DPS and consistent with our policies and our core value of equity and not done to the exclusion of any families or children, including yours, end quote. Eric, does the proposed straight flag also fit into those requirements as well? Could that be also an argument to hit back on this lawsuit, Eric?
Here's the problem: equity, inclusion. And I understand Kevin's point. The best flag is the American flag, the red, white, and blue. Ellis Island, we're all immigrants. We all come from different backgrounds, whether someone is gay, whether someone's straight, whether someone's transgender. That's not the issue. But here, a parent whose 8-year-old children are in a publicly funded school, for a school not to be able to include that position, well, that's what further divides us. The school shouldn't take a position. It is okay to fly that flag. It is okay to be gay. But if the parent wants his children, because he's an advocate for his children in this publicly funded school, his position out there, the school should have this inclusion policy, and that should be inclusive. And on a First Amendment issue, to deprive that, it's problematic. What these schools are accused of having sometimes an agenda, these culture wars, whether something is perceived, and perhaps it shouldn't be, to the left or to the right, that becomes the problem. But the real situation here is, if you want to avoid this, the school shouldn't be involved in this. And perhaps the only flag that should be flown is red, white, and blue. America, Americans, we are all together. We are all included under the same umbrella.
That covers everyone, by the way. The American flag does. Look, I know the parents, Mr. Feldman is not in the classroom, but whose taxpayer money do you think is funding the classroom? It's not the students. It's not the third graders who are going to work after their school day. I wanted to bring in this element. Ken, we'll go back to you. Other parents in the district apparently creating a change.org petition, actually calling on the father to stop the lawsuit here. How does this play into the case, if at all?
I mean, it's not evidence of anything. This is just conjecture. But I do think they have a point that what this father's doing, I know he's trying to stand up for his 8-year-old's viewpoint. It's a little bit divisive. There's no reason to have this battle. There's no reason to have this battle so publicly and make your 8-year-old child have to be at the forefront of this battle. It's embarrassing, quite frankly, as a parent.
All right, we got to leave it right here really quick. Breaking news: Eric Schwartzreich, Ken Belka, thank you. President Trump